Good evening, Amy, and welcome to your special reading because today, no matter how hard I have tried, I am stuck in the energy of the new moon in Taurus. So I'm going to be doing this little reading for you that I came up with today as a bonus. And then I'll do the other one for you tomorrow because I must go where the tide leads me. And this could be some handy information, right? This will explain one chapter as opposed to the thing that I'm delivering to you tomorrow, which will explain like a series, but like cliff notes, because ain't nobody got time for that. Who knows how many lives you lived here. So I'm going to actually start with, first and foremost, an empowering message for what exciting thing you can look forward to based upon this upcoming, I guess the word I want to say is reaping. I'm like, you just planted some seeds during the new moon. So you got some stuff that had been planted last, I'm going to say October, or something was revealed, right? But this time you're planting for stuff that you're going to be receiving for like the next 4 weeks. Maybe even a little bit more than that I'm getting. When would the next, October again, the next Scorpio season again. So between now and then, this will be building. So what does Amy need to know about this new moon in Taurus and her? Looks like yours was a bit difficult. So, you're being asked to have a different perspective on something in regards to your relationship or relationships in general. I don't know if you're getting out of one. It sort of seems like you want to know what the future is bringing, but the universe is not giving you any big hints. Like you see, there's sort of kind of some stuff, right? But not the full shebang. There's nothing you're certain about. But that's because you're supposed to be learning how to make the correct moves without knowing what the next thing is, like to use your intuition, but also like a test of your heart. Are you going to do the right thing? Because it seems like there is somebody that you need to forgive, something that has been blocking you from moving on. And I'm not sure if you are still entangled with this person, but you're being asked to have a new perspective on that relationship. And it seems like it's so that you can get some peace and closure in this connection. Like you can leave what didn't work for you and actually start thinking about what you do want for yourself, which is why the next deck is the Repair and Evolve card. So what's going to be growing during this time? Of you just being open to new possibilities again, it seems like. Like you had to forgive somebody that really hurt you. Maybe somebody you even thought that you were going to be with forever. That happens like to everybody, right? You remember being in love in middle school? Like that was it. That was the one, right? No, that did not come together. That's what I'm sensing here. Now, it wasn't puppy dog, but love, but it was, it never budded or went from bud to blossom. It never reached its full potential. That's why you're being asked to just let it be. And I'm going to read the forgiveness card for you, or forgive. Right? Set yourself free. Forgiveness is a powerful act of self-love. Forgive yourself and others. This transformative release will unburden and heal your heart. So this is definitely about opening yourself up to stuff, even though other stuff used to suck. It feels like there's a possibility that maybe you started some negative talk. Like, oh, it must not be meant for me. It's not going to happen. There's nobody good out here. No, don't say that. That's damning yourself. So what will Amy be working on, repairing and growing into? Better boundaries in communication. It definitely feels like very possibly you were the one that let stuff slide a lot and that became something you regretted. It's like you set the bar so low or your boundaries so low that you never felt okay. And that's probably why you have a lot of resentment towards this old partnership, or even it could be possibly a partnership pattern like something you kept noticing happening in relationships, but like people taking advantage of your kindness or your boundaries until this happened. So creating boundaries requires self-love and discipline. It's not about you shutting people out or being unkind. It is about you telling them you care enough about yourself to create boundaries that are for your highest good. Clear communication is needed to keep your boundaries intact. This is so in the future, you won't be in a partnership, because this one says grow good relationships, right? Something not based on the, my mom was going to say disabled, but the unconscious version of you, maybe? The one that was still like existing in your old patterns and stuff. So better boundaries and communication. You won't ever be the person you were. Following this, as soon as you see something, you're like, shh. But it would be way worse if you didn't forgive. If you didn't forgive, you wouldn't even give anybody a chance. This is more like you're going to give some people a chance, but you'll know when to run. So, ooh, isolation and lonely. Didn't I just say you've been closing people out? You've been shutting stuff down? But it's time for that to be over. That'll be over once this forgiveness. But this is a part of the growth. This is what they're working on you blooming out of, or healing, or evolving through. Repair was the other word. So there's a tendency to push people away by isolating yourself from uncomfortable situations. Look into new ways to break down the walls to create better ways to connect with others. Don't keep your light to yourself. Open up to share it. But this seems like with the better boundaries, as you feel more confident in saying, I don't want to do that, and not sort of getting pushed around by people who realize you have a soft spot for them, you'll be willing to come out of that shell. You'll feel a lot better about it. See? Because this is like, you see the heart again? Didn't I say this was like a heart thing? You were shielding your heart because something crappy happened, but it doesn't matter. Your vibe is still rising. You're still doing the work in other ways. So high vibrations transformation. You have chosen to step into a higher vibration that is in alignment with your soul path and higher knowing. You now have the awareness that you are limitless and ready for transformation. Before this, there was some denial. And this has to do with that energy. This up in here, there's some relationship that is still like up in there for you, ma'am. And it says there's a situation that you are refusing to see clearly. Living in denial can create false, see, flubbing over words, false scenarios to see things that are not accurate. Have the courage and discernment to dig deep into the truth of the situation, because you have a distorted view on something. I don't know if you don't know somebody lied to you, or you had a feeling somebody lied to you. You're still dealing with the fact that it was a lie. This is just, that feels messy, Amy. And it doesn't feel like you are the mess in there. It feels like somebody that is an ex, or should be an ex, is still lingering in your energy, and you're trying to figure out how to handle that situation. But it seems like forgive and release, or forgive and get a new perspective on the situation, along with new boundaries, so that you don't ever have the problem with this person again. But in some way, shape, or form, this relationship has been toxic to you mainly. Like you were the healing person sucking the poison out in the relationship, and you just like OD. So how are you going to feel once these changes set in? How will Amy feel after these changes set in? I never know what to expect. Strength. Like you didn't know your own strength is actually what that one made me feel like. Ooh, it's even possible as you get on, take on a new athletic thing or a new sport. Weightlifting. I mean, hey, do whatever you need to do, sis. But it definitely feels like you're going to get a new skill, a new talent. You're going to discover some new things about yourself, trying to keep yourself busy from focusing on this situation that sort of really had you jacked up for a while. So, going with your flow, going with your emotions. But in this case, I'm feeling like when you need to cry, cry. When you need to run. Because sometimes you need to sweat, which is a form of flowing. When you need to sing, sing. Just whatever you feel your body needs to relieve the emotions that are coming up for you during this transition period, do with it. This flow means to go with the motion of your energy as it comes through you. Some days you're going to feel like the Incredible Hulk and do a million things and lift your weights, right? And then some days you're not. You're just going to be still, and you're going to have to process some heavy emotions that came up. Don't punish yourself because every day doesn't look like the one before. Just know that you are moving in alignment with who you actually are and sort of discovering that for yourself as well. So, abundance. So, your finances will get better. There's nothing else I need to say about that. But it's also, hold on, I was about to say, as soon as I said there's nothing else I need to say, right? No, it's your sense of self-worth. You might buy yourself some new things. Invest in yourself some more, I'm feeling. Like invest in your like glow up or upgrade or something, right? But along with that comes opportunities to make more money. Whether it's a raise or you getting a job that makes more money or your sales increasing. There's more money coming in, but it's in alignment with your aura strengthening, with you getting your energy back. And that is going to trigger this creativity that I see keep trying to seep into here. It's like you weren't allowed to be this creative, thriving, busy person because the relationship that you were in was kind of draining you, shorty. You're going to discover some skills you did not know were there at all. So I'm going to pull for them. What is like the energy theme of this? It feels like rebirth. Like rebirth to yourself. You're going to be a whole new version of you, but it's like the one that you've had in your head the whole time, right? Like you sort of knew it was in there, but you were like, no, I just like dreaming. You're going to make dream you a reality, man. So, didn't I say some new gifts, some new creativity was coming in? That's what this feels like here. You healing yourself, though. Taking off your mask, coming out from behind that. And then showing people a part of you that they didn't even know. The part of you that has a voice. I think maybe that's why that singing came up. Work on your throat chakra too. Like throat chakra frequencies and meditations, just because you had so much stuff going on with communication and boundaries there. But singing will also help you open up that canal. It'll also allow you to recognize that your canal is opening up more as your voice gets louder and wider and bigger and stronger over time. So the doorway to spirit is opening up. This means that you have been in a dark place for a while, right? You have been at the bottom of a downward spiral, or you have been stagnant. And during that time, you know how you get mad at God and you don't want to hear nothing? That's what this feels like. Like you might have been asking questions, but you weren't waiting for the answer. Now it feels like you are starting to open to the answer just a little bit. One step at a time. Because it's like you're trusting yourself, and this relationship sort of messed up your faith a little bit. So, where is Amii being guided now? Where is she being guided now? And this was a bonus one in here, because I wanted you to know. Even though it was like, wait and see. Over the mountain. Over the hurdles. Over the difficulty. Over that which you thought you would never get over. So, into flow. Once again, flow. Your own flow. Maybe you were the type of person who was in a relationship that was sort of codependent, or you had a lot of energy that you were putting into that relationship. But it's like you find getting into your own flow. No longer sharing your energy or compromising what you want to do for yourself. Whatever you were wishing, outside of this person to act right, whatever you were wishing for, that's coming through. You will be balancing, and this is so funny because we just went over the cards that said you putting better boundaries up for yourself. But this says protecting treasure, desert, right? See, all right, let me start like this. Protecting treasure, that's somebody making sure they're staying out of the rain, over top of a box of gold or something, right? Then we got dry desert, that's another isolation, keeping away, but balancing that. So this means that every time somebody calls, they might not be able to get you. You might be at the gym. You're not going to be so easily accessible to those who once took for granted your accessibility. You're going to be pouring a lot of that flow back into yourself, because it's like you gave a lot out and God wants to just give it back to you so that you feel better. Get a good pair of shoes. I'm getting, and that's interesting because I usually don't get stuff like that. And I don't know why at the beginning of this I was guided to tell you this story, but I didn't tell it. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. So uh, I have been in a really like dark space for a long time, like years ago, right? And I didn't take very good care of myself. Like I used to just slick my hair back in a bun and do it like as tight as possible so it would pull on all my stuff. And I'm actually like 3 years into growing back like my hairline now, right? A horrible story. But I was just in the bathroom and I was like, hold on, my hairline, is that like new baby hairs that are growing in here? Like I didn't even know I was supposed to have hair the whole time. So I have been getting the like ping or message. I'm like, just that my hair needs to be red. I'm a redhead, like strawberry or auburn. That's what I was feeling. And I didn't want to dye my hair because I don't even use a comb on my hair. I just do like this with my fingers because I treated it so bad beforehand. My mane, my crown, this has been really something I'm focused on, right? So I have a whole bunch of oils and all this stuff that I always put in it to try to make sure that my stuff is still growing back in after I tore it up, right? Look at my hair in the middle. When I was little, when I was a baby, and I'll say till like 3, my hair would always grow in red, but it got darker as I got older. My mom used to use grease on my hair. And when I got older, because that's what she had used my whole life, I had been using grease. And lately I've been using coconut oil and all this other stuff. I had no idea that my hair was actually naturally red. Now, the kicker, my mom's last name is Red. We come from a family line of people that have red hair. I used to love Eve's Bayou when I was little, but I had no idea this whole time. I was trying to remind myself of myself. So, that was the part of the message that went with you. Like, I was going to start off with that story, but I'm like, why does she need that? But you need to know that there are parts of you that you aren't even familiar with, that you are going to discover by yourself. It's going to be an emotional journey as you realize how much of yourself got delayed or put away because of the situation you were in and the pain that you feel behind losing that relationship. And it could be re-losing. This could be something that was toxic or back and forth for you. Will be replaced with the joy you have from finding yourself. Because there's no point in having somebody else if you had to lose yourself to have them, right? Have a good day, man.